All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Aeshmah. I'm going to be running Vengeful Guardian Moonrider for you guys. It's a nice little action platformer that released back in January of this year, so it's a very, very recent game. Probably not a lot of people might know about it or might have missed it, which is a shame. So I am very glad that I get to show this off to you tonight, everybody. I guess we're just gonna jump right in. We're gonna be playing from a fresh save file here. Don't worry, timer is not starting just yet. Give me just a moment. Many people describe this as a mixture between Mega Man and Ninja Gaiden. So you have your level select screen here, which doesn't do anything just yet because we are locked into the first stage of the game, which is gonna be the bioweapon lab. We have to do this first. However, I don't think the Ninja Gaiden reference is really that accurate. It's more like a Shinobi type of game, but you see what I mean by that in just a moment here. For now, let's just go ahead, get the first stage going, and as soon as I press the button to begin here, that is when the timer starts. So let's just go into it in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, this is Vengeful Guardian Moonrider. We are playing as the titular Moonrider, and we, well, were kind of a bad guy before, you know, working for this totalitarian regime that was suppressing the populace. However, after some kind of incident, we basically had a crisis of faith, so to speak, and that is why we're transported into this laboratory here to get reprogrammed, I guess. Didn't quite work out. Now did it, because we kind of started rebelling, and now we are slashing our way out of this. Basic or very basic movement options here. You have your running attacks, you have the normal slashes, you have a jump. You do not have a double jump though. Wall jumps, etc. So that will definitely expand over the course of the game. But for now, we're already at our first mini boss. Now, what we want to do here is break down this barrier that just rose up by hitting this laser. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that was a pretty good fight. So what you want to do here is the laser will start firing on its own against the barrier, but it will also fire once you hit it a couple times. So you kind of want to wait out until it's fired on its own, and then hit it a couple times so it fires a second time, and thus basically giving you double hits against the barrier, destroying that very, very quickly. Oh. Kind of messing up the wall jump here just a little bit, but no worries, we made it. And this is where we will pick up our first power module, or our first chip. Now, the chips are very powerful passive bonuses that we can pick up over the course of the game. There are, I think, 16 chips in total that you can pick up. But you can only ever equip 2 at the same time. So obviously for a speedrun, you'll only ever pick up 2. And use those throughout the whole game. The one that we picked up right now is the MP region chip. It allows us to, or basically it passively regenerates our MP the whole time, which is the blue bar to the top left corner of the screen there, which allows us to use our sub-weapons more. Now, this is the first actual boss of the game. It is Geno Queen, a big lady right there in the background. We will try and hit her hand 4 times, and then her mouth. Unfortunately, didn't get the quick kill here because I messed up my attack timings just a little bit. So I will go for the backup. And there we go. Normally you can basically do this the first time she opens her mouth. However, it is very finicky to get that going there. So I just had to go for a backup. It loses you about 10 seconds or so. It's not too bad, but obviously, if you're going for a world record time, you do want to get that quick kill on her. And that was already the first stage. This will basically be a thing in this game. Like, all the stages will be just flying past us. Because, I don't know, it's just very fun to run. The game was basically made for speedrunning. This is an auto-scroller segment. However, it's not really an auto-scroller. Like, the goal here is to basically defeat all the enemies that try to impede you along your way. So, the screen, or rather the stage, will only progress once I have actually killed every enemy that tries to fight me. Now, there will be some motorcyclists, for example, that will just run straight across, and I do not have to kill those. I really only have to kill these enemies that stay on screen and try to fight me in order to make it through the stage. So it's not really an auto-scroller, but kinda, but I guess you get the idea out of it. Also, the soundtrack of this game is just phenomenal, and was a huge reason why I actually picked up the game in the first place. Like, I saw the launch trailer, but the announcement trailer, whatever, or the release date trailer, I think it was, back in December, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, this game doesn't look too bad. I can definitely go ahead and pick that up at one point. However, then I listened to the soundtrack, and it just immediately convinced me to go ahead and pick up that game. I actually had the pleasure of meeting the person, Dominic, who did the soundtrack for this game back at ESA Winter back in February. So that was definitely a nice catch-up there. But yeah, this is basically the part of the run where my chat usually starts spamming their jam emotes. So if you have any of those lying around, that might be a good time, because this soundtrack is a banger. So this is one of the mini boss. Yeah. You basically just shoot 4 times with your special attack and just hold down the shoot button, and it dies. Also, we are normally supposed to, you know, stay in the middle here and jump over these obstacles as they come here, but you can also just go to the side of the road and bypass them this way. I guess they didn't really plan for that, did they? Like I said, I do not have to kill the guy on the right, because apparently he will just die on his own once he reaches the edge of the screen there. And that is what I meant when I said earlier that I do not have to kill all the enemies, only the ones that actually stay on the screen. So that's like a little bit of an optimization technique that you do in this stage, only, you know, focusing the guys that will try and fight you, whereas you can't just leave the other guys running off into nowhere, basically, because they just don't matter. Now, this is the boss for this part of the level, basically the mid-level boss. We just basically try to follow him from the right to the left and back again, trying to never let our sight drop on him, and that was basically a perfect kill. You want to kill him when he's on the left side of the screen. That basically tells you, okay, you've done that fight perfectly. Now we are on to the second half of the level, basically the second stage of unwittingly City, if you will. It's back to our side-scrolling action here, and we will just go ahead and make our way through this, well, traffic jam, so to speak. Nice thing in this game is that, yes, there are bottomless pits between all the vehicles that we will jump across. However, it's not an instant kill, as you might think, and you actually will only lose a little bit of health and be spawned back on the last vehicle which you were on, which is pretty nice. Now, one thing that can be a little bit misleading is the game can look a little bit easy when you look at the speedrun of it. Because, you know, speedrun, obviously. But if you play it casually, it can definitely, you know, kick your ass just a little bit. So it's, like, deceptively hard in a way. Which you will undoubtedly notice if you play it yourself. So these shield guys, oops, yeah, I basically showed it off there. You can't pierce their shields with your normal attacks. You actually want to go ahead and use your sub-weapon, the Moon Spear here, to kill them. Obviously, I just had to go ahead and show that off, how to not do that, so you guys don't do it when you play it. That is exactly the reason why I did that, and not because I forgot on which side these enemies spawn. Oh god. I really hate this fight against these two robots. I don't know what it is, but I lately have had so many problems with this fight in particular. And this was another one of those. Okay, finally made it through. Ooh. Well, that was a problem and a half. Oops. Okay, getting a little bit dangerously close to dying here. Okay, made it. Yeah, everything is fine. So we are about to come up to the boss of this stage, which is going to be Photon Drifter. I want to say he's the first real boss of the game, because Jenna Queen is a little bit of an odd one, so to speak. So this is Photon Drifter. He's like, again, the first real boss of the game, because we're actually getting an ability off of him. But more upon that after the fight. For now, we will just wait on him until he jumps twice and then change to the right side of the screen. Just like that. Run up to him. Slash him in the face until he shoots us back. Use our Moon Spear, and that was the fight. There will be a thing that will happen quite a lot during that run, like the bosses just melt before our abilities if we do it right. There's like a quick kill for just about every boss in the game, I want to say, making those fights go by blazingly fast. And the reason we go here first is because of the photon dash, the ability that we just got off of him. Because this ability is basically broken. It is so good. I will tell you what it does a little bit, because for now we will go to Asura's fleet, and the music in that stage is just chef's kiss. So I will just go ahead, shut up for a short while, and let's just vibe out to the song. We actually skip a mini boss here by not touching that platform there. But yeah, it's basically one of my favorite songs in the game, and I just can't help but want to listen to it whenever I am in this stage. So, well, that's not a good start to this fight. Not what I wanted to do. I actually want to go up here and slash that Brainiac. Oh my god, I am just messing this up right now, aren't I? Okay, let's try this again. Thankfully, the damage is persistent, so we haven't actually lost anything by doing this other than a little bit of my dignity here, I guess. But yeah, you saw me use the photon dash like all throughout that stage, because it basically has the trifecta of speedrunning goodness. Because the photon dash deals damage, it propels you forward, making you go faster, and you are invulnerable while you're using it. It is a damned good ability, and again, that is the reason why we go to Nioh City first and fight Photon Drifter, because we want this ability as soon as we can for the speedrun. Now, another thing is during this stage, like the first stage of Asura's fleet, everything is like on a level-based cycle, meaning that, you know, all the platforms that have been moving around, they start moving as soon as the level starts. So if you mess up just a little bit, you will be off your cycle and you have to kind of start improving. And it happened a little bit while I was running it, so I lost a little bit of time there, but not too much. Now this boss, if you just mesh hard enough, like this, he just dies right there on the right side of the screen, which is very fast. Otherwise he will go over to the left side, and then he's invulnerable for a while, and you have to wait until he's on the right side again, and you just cry, so you don't want that to happen. So just mesh, and he will die. And this is where we pick up our second chip. This is the Soul Eater chip. Now remember, we already have our MP region chip that passively restores our MP just by having it equipped. And with the Soul Eater, this makes it so that every time we kill an enemy, we will regenerate even more MP. And as you can imagine, since we want to use the Photon Dash as much as possible, having a lot of MP is just very beneficial to our cause here. So we want as much MP region as we can manage to get. Now again, there are like 14 other chips that we could pick up, but yeah, we just haven't found that any of them are better than the setup that we use right here and now. There was a little bit of a discourse a little bit earlier in the speedrun life of this game, where some people actually picked up the double jump ability, because it does allow for a couple more skips and tricks in some levels. However, yeah, the MP region setup is just way too powerful for, you know, in order not to use it. So we all just default to that. I mean, as you can see, I just used this thing 3 times in a row, and these eye barriers just melt away before me. And you will also see that during some of the upcoming boss fights. So it's kind of interesting to know that the PC version of the game, I'm actually playing on PlayStation 5, but the PC version of the game recently got an update that nerfed some of the sub-weapons. However, for some reason, it did not nerf the photon dash, which is very peculiar, because we think it's the most broken ability in the game at the moment. What they did nerf was the Dark Portal and the Geocrash, two abilities that we'll pick up a little bit later on. Which, you know, are also very good, and we use them in the speedrun quite a bit, but that photon dash didn't get picked. Very interesting. Also, this is Asura. Say hi, Asura. And bye, Asura. Ciao. And now we have a boss fight against Stormdiver. Now with Stormdiver, we tried to manipulate her AI by running at her and slashing her, which should make her face to the right side. Okay, didn't work, so we just wait for her to go there, and then we just quick kill her on the left wall. If the AI manipulation had worked, we would have done the same thing, but she would have just stayed on the right side of the screen, so she wouldn't have flown over to the left side where we kill her, saving maybe, I don't know, 3 to 4 seconds or something like that. It's a little bit finicky to get, so the backup is to just go ahead and kill on the left side of the screen. No questions asked, but obviously it's a little bit nicer if she just stays on the right side of the screen there. Now we got Storm Shot, absolutely useless ability. We will never use it in the speedrun because we have way better alternatives. And with that, we will make our way over to the Lost Ruins. Now the first stage of this level is very execution heavy, as you will see in just a moment here. But first of all, we get Photon Dash again. I'm gonna go through here. Here, then jump kick off of this guy, use 2 photon dashes up there and another here, refill our MP. Then we are forced into this little cutscene here. Just continue on our oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Continue on our merry way. Oops. Oh, why am I solo on MP all of a sudden? Okay, let's refill it a little bit. Got this block, slash once. Okay, got the safety, and that basically saved us going to the far right of the stage and using an elevator to reach this higher platform, which is very nice. And with that, we are already to the next stage boss. Now, the submarine, we run up into its face, so to speak, and then do 3 running slashes to kill the 2 modules on the bottom there. Then jump on top of it, destroy the cannon. Then it will expose its brain, which we will slash once, and then just dash until it's dead. And that was this mini-boss. And with that, we are into the second stage of the Lost Ruins. Now, this is a little bit of a maze because we have to hit all these different color switches to open these barriers, as you can see all here. However, the way forward is pretty straightforward, actually. It's just if you want to go for the other chips that are hidden throughout this part of the stage that you actually have to be a little bit more crafty in the way in which you open and close these doors. So obviously, since we are not getting those chips, we do not have to do that. And we can just go straight for the exit. Oh. Now these fish are actually programmed in a way that they actually actively try to hinder you, which is, yeah, we don't like that. Obviously, they can be a bit of a pain to get through. However, we are already out of the water, and we are also into the next boss fight, which is Darkstalker, or Dark Chaser, I think she's called. As you can see, she has this floating thing behind her, which should probably also already tell her that she has some kind of barrier around her. So our first order of business is to break that barrier down, which you can do with a couple slashes here. Oh. Oh, come on, I missed that? What? Yeah, normally... Okay, I was 2 slashes off. Normally you can do that in the lower left corner there. So... that just means she has a little bit more health than usual. But the next time she appears, we're just gonna kill her. Just like that. That's another boss down. From her, we get the Dark Portal ability, which is this weird tentacle ability that we just summon from God knows where. However, it's a very potent sub-weapon because it deals a lot of damage over multiple hits. So it has a lot of DPS, which we are going to use for one of the next boss fights. Initially, we used this against most of the bosses in the game until we found out that the photon dash was actually way better for that particular thing. And again, the Dark Portal has also been nerfed in the recent patch. I think it costs way more MP to use now, so you actually don't get as many usages out of it anymore as we do at the moment. But the PlayStation 5 version hasn't been patched yet, so I am still able to go for, you know, the old strats that we're using basically. But first of all, we're going back to the photon dash and making our way through the laser research lab, which is, I want to say, one of the hardest stages in the game because there are a lot of very hard-hitting enemies in this stage, so it is very easy to just straight up die. Like these, I don't know, mobile tanks, whatever they are. But then we're gonna make our way up here. Wall jump off of this, up here, make our way over and out. Go forward a little bit to spawn a third soldier so we can regenerate more MP yet. Fight this thing. Okay. And then we are onto the boss of this stage, which is gonna be Shingen. I think its name is Shingen. Kinda forgot. Oh well. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna walk forward just a little bit until there's marking in the floor, and then do one full combo on him, and then just dash, dash, oh, dash, 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 and he is done. Easy, right? Just have to, and that should probably tell you why it is so important to keep track of your MP all throughout this game, because if you just do not have enough dashes or, you know, enough MP to use your sub-weapons at the right time, you are in for a world of hurt, because boy, let me tell you, those boss fights can be really cruel. Overshot a little bit there, but it's fine. We can manage. And this is where the laser of the laser research lab comes in, because these things, yeah, they hurt. Now, the small lasers don't hurt as much, but soon enough we will meet the big lasers, and boy oh boy, they can put us in a world of hurt. Now, this is the boss where we use the Dark Portal. Another very big background boss. You can only hurt the little blue orb on the boss's chest there. Oh my god. Gotta be a little bit careful here because I'm very low on health now. So I'm gonna play the next part a little bit conservatively, I think, in order to not die. Okay, we made it. So yeah, here's the big laser. That thing hurts. So I actually will just wait out this cycle here. And then just alternatively running slash and dash, and you are through that wall. Okay, this is a little bit weird now because I'm a little bit off cycle. Normally you can destroy that thing. Ooh, that was close. Now, a single one of these lasers won't kill me, but it will put me in very low health. Oh, look at that. I actually managed to destroy it before it got overshot. Alright. Interesting laser second. Anyway, we are on to the boss of this level, which is gonna be Geocrasher. We will try and manipulate his AI by running up to him and jumping over him, putting us between him and the wall. And then we will let us hit him, which will propel us into the air just a little bit. And then we will just straight up dash against the wall. Now the thing is, if we are in the air, he will try, or he will do like a jumping kick, putting him into the air. And since he is in the air, he won't be able to do his phase transition, which would happen when he is at half of his health, when he loses his first health bar. Because when he transitions into a second phase, he is invulnerable for a time, and then will deal more damage afterwards. And, you know, since we don't want him to be invulnerable because it will lose us time, since we can't hit him, we go for this AI manipulation to basically just straight up skip all of that. And that is why it's very, very important that we actually get hit once during that fight. So we get propelled into the air and can then just, mercilessly kill him with a photon dash once again. Okay, we got now the Geocrush ability from Geocrusher. Very on topic, I suppose. And this ability is, once again, very good. Like, this is it. The thing is, with the Geocrash ability, you are invulnerable the whole time it lasts, and it deals even more damage when you use it from a jump. So basically, the higher you are before using it, the more damage you will deal doing it. Which is a very interesting mechanic, I have to say. What am I doing? There. So we will basically use this ability at certain points of the run. Because again, it deals more damage than the photon dash. And, well, makes fights go by faster, right? Because damage is good, is what we want to see. And guess who the stage boss of this level is? Hey, it's the big-ass robot that has been chasing us the whole time. Who would have thought? Just gonna quickly show off our geocrashes here, and that is him then. As you can see, we gain a lot of iframes if we use the geocrasher, because I could just stand in a third box the whole time and not take damage like at all, which is just great. Nope. Weird. But we can make it. But as you can probably tell, that robot is not quite done with us yet, as he's still chasing us a little bit with his arm all throughout this building here. But we're not having it. No, no, no. Just making our way through here real quick. Oh. Restock a little bit on HP and MP, and then we have our refight against this thing. But again, just to jump, a slash, and the geocrash. Do this 3 times, and he is dead. And then we have a little escape sequence here. Just gotta make our way up. Now, a nice little skip here is we can just stay on the left side of the screen and get this wall jump up to this platform. We actually do not have to go through the right side of the screen. And once again, so you can just basically ignore the complete right side of the screen there. Which obviously, saves a little bit of time, for sure. Why are all these people able to catch up to me today? That is not how it should be. And up comes the boss, Flamestalker. We will jump, kick onto his wall here to gain a little bit more depth into the room. So we're nearly halfway there, so we will now be able to get the quick kill, hopefully. We're running up to him and then just dashing, and we just missed it. As you can see, he had a sliver of health left there. So it's probably off by 1 dash or so. It's very hard and very finicky to get, actually. I think you have to dash through him the first time, just too precise a time, so it hits him like twice or something. It's very hard to get and very finicky. But hey, we defeated him anyway. The fight didn't take that long, so I am satisfied with that. And as thanks, we get the Flame Ring, which is absolutely useless. We will never see this ability being used during a run. Also, just in case you were wondering, yes, it is a little bit like Mega Man, as you probably saw, with the level select and us gaining new sub-weapons after every fight. However, unlike Mega Man, the bosses are actually not weak to another sub-weapon or anything of that sort. So that is not a thing that... Oh my god. Can you please? That happens here. So you do not have to worry about a specific boss order or anything to go by. Other than the convenience, because, again, for the speedrun, we do want the photon dash first. But, yeah, it's not for a specific other boss, it's just, the overall utility of the photon dash. Now, we will fight the skip here by coming here and just using the photon dash twice, so we don't get locked in with these losers back there. And then we are on to one of the worst mini-bosses in the game, in my opinion. Because you have to deal with this little platform there and the water, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't have enough MP for a third dash, but okay, we salvage it. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot going on there, you know, with the spikes at the bottom, then he shoots lasers, and there's this barrier and whatnot. It can be a very excruciating fight if you don't know how to quickly kill this mini-boss here. Thankfully, we do. So it wasn't as bad. So we're now into the second stage of this level, the desalination facility. Nope. And as you can probably tell, there's a little bit of a puzzle going on with the water levels. So what we do here, we summon or spawn an enemy to the upper left there and jump kick off of it after we drain the water. Now normally you were supposed to use, put the water down and then hit the switch again to ride the rising water up on this little floaty thing. However, since we jump kick off that enemy, we can stay in that tunnel up there and not having had to do it, which is a nice little skip because it also means that in that dry upper section, there are no enemies there because normally only fish would be able to spawn there. But, you know, since there is no water, they don't. Now we have another mini-boss here, the mermaid. We're just gonna use our geocrash into running slashes, and that takes care of her nice and easy. Come up here, slash that thing. Photon dash, and jump kick down. I actually have to hit these switches to make this water rise here, because otherwise we will not be able to get up. I have enough MP for one more dash, which is all I need. Kill this guy. Actually, you have to make the water level rise here, otherwise we will not be able to get into the boss arena. Refill our MP, and we are onto the boss, which is going to be Hydromancer. We're trying to try and go for a quick kill on this enemy by jumping to the middle platform there and doing a running slash off it into him. Which will mean that we will hit the electricity spikes at the bottom there, but we just need to take off a little bit of his health. So let's see if we can get this. Nah, I was too slow there. Okay, doesn't matter. Just gonna hit him a little bit more with one more jump before I start my dashing. And with one jump and 2 slashes and then 5 dashes, or 2 jumps with 2 slashes each, and then the 5 dashes basically kills him outright, making this another very easy fight. And with him dead, we have now cleared all of the 8 main stages of the game. Well, not main stages, but the 8 selectable stages of the game. So we are basically into the end game now. You know, think of as we have unlocked Wily's Fortress at this point. So yeah, only 2 more levels to go. Which, of course, where would a game like this end but space? So before we can get into space, though, obviously we will have to go to the space elevator and ride it to the space station. Spoilers. So this is another autoscroller. It works the exact same way as the one that we previously did at Evil in Nioh City. You just have to take care of the enemies that actually stay on screen and try to fight us. Now, these trucks are actually a little bit interesting, as you do not destroy the trucks, but rather you have to kill these soldiers coming out of its back. Now, the thing is, if you shoot your normal shots like that, they are able to hit the truck. However, your special shot doesn't deal damage to the truck for whatever reason. I don't know. It just goes right through it. However, the thing is, as you probably saw, our special shot has a little bit of a snaking to it. Like, you know, it has like this waving form it goes in and out of, or a little bit like in like a DNA string, so to speak. And that means that it has dead zones in the center from time to time. And if you are dead center behind the soldier coming out of the truck, your special will actually miss, because once again, it cannot hit the truck. It can only hit that soldier for whatever reason. So you actually want to be a little bit off to the side if you use your special ability to take care of these soldiers coming out of the back of the truck. Alright, more enemies. Just gonna take care of... Oh, missed one shot on that guy. Didn't want to have that happen, obviously. Now with this guy, you just use 3 special shots and he is done, because you do not want to hit them with normal shots, because he will just turn around and laugh at you while he blocks them. So you actually only want to use the special shots against him. Which is another reason why we are trying to be a little bit conservative with our specials in this level, and why we have the MP region ship equipped, because, you know, as you may have already seen, this actually does work on this stage right here. So we are passively regenerating MP the whole time. Now, coming up is the boss of this stage. It's going to be Sunseeker. Sunseeker is actually the last boss of the game. So we get our first glimpse of him right here, right now. And there he is. So we'll try to hit him with our special once. And then just stay behind him and shoot. No. Yeah, as you can see there, like, he was like at the distance where I was not able to hit him with my special. Oh god. Yeah, okay. Normally he would be dead by now, well, quote unquote dead, the fight would just be over, but since I missed that special, I will just have to go ahead and take another pot shot at him, and there we go. Little victory pose there. And I'm the champion because I didn't get hit by that special. Bastard. Anyway, second stage of the space elevator, another killer track, I think. I mean, just give a listen to this. This has a really nice, you know, rising tension thing going on, while you can see in the background there we are slowly rising up into space. It's got a really nice beat to it. Have I told you that I really like the soundtrack of this game? If not, let me reiterate that. I really, really love the soundtrack of this game.
Would now be a good time to read a donation, because we do have one here.
Absolutely, go ahead.
All right, so we have one donation by none other than Cineath for the amount of $30, saying 30 boops to the void. And this one went to the Save or Abandon the Animals Incentive for Super Metroid Ascent, I believe, where he voted for Abandon. So if you want to save the animals, get your donations in for that bit more.
Cineath is just such a speedrunner, he wants to save the frames by killing the animals. So yeah, everybody, do go ahead and, you know, make your voices heard by donating money to charity. It's an awesome cause, as always. I think the charities that Green Gaming chooses for its events are very underrepresented in, you know, Speedrun Marathons at large. So it is just a really nice thing to have these happen. So please go ahead, donate, and, you know, get some incentives met so we can have a little bit more fun during the marathon. Because there's a lot of fun things that we can do and have lined up for you. In the meantime, we are coming up to the boss of this stage. It's a bit of a random one, I think. There's these 4 heads in the background there. We are going to use our Geocrasher twice until they stay in place. Then we're going to jump kick off on one to get to the one in the middle, which is a little bit finicky to get to. And then there's Geocrash once again from up top, which should get rid of most of them. And there we go, that's this boss done, and we're actually off to the last level of the game. So we are very, very close to the end here. And this is gonna be, like I said before, the space station. Now, the space station is a very hard stage. It's a short stage, but it can go very wrong very, very quickly. Everything is on a global cycle from the start on. So if I make just the slightest mistake in this level, everything can just go to hell, basically, because I will be off cycle, and things can go wrong from there very, very quickly. So I gotta be very careful with my movements here. Oh my god. Okay. Already off cycle because I forgot to pick this up, so this will be an experience for all of us, no? Let's see if I can kind of salvage this. Just gonna take it slow here. Oh god. Okay, made it. That was a bit of the hard part. Flunked on it a little bit, but, you know, it can happen. Nothing too shabby. Just gonna make our way through here. Can you please pick this up? Thank you. All right. Could have been a little bit better, but, you know, we didn't die, so I will take that. Anyway, we have a refight against Shingen here. You might remember him from the Laser Research Lab. It's basically the same fight as before. You just take a couple steps forward, slash him with a full combo, and then just dash until he is done. And with that, we are coming up to the final boss of the game. Time will happen on the completely white screen after the fight, so don't you worry, I will tell you when it will be. But for now, we are gonna go ahead and fight Sunseeker. Again, we fought him, yeah, a little bit earlier on the way to the space elevator. We will manipulate his AI by running at him and then jumping before we reach him, which makes him jump as well. Then we use 2 Geo Crashes to deplete his first health bar, and then we'll just slash away his next health bar, putting it into his last phase. We'll go to the lower left corner, do another Geo Crash, wait for him to return, Geo Crash once more, and oh, I'm out of MP, and wait for time, and time. And that is the run, everybody. Yeah. This is a very fun game, in case you couldn't tell by now, but I hope you did, because I have a blast every time I get to run it. It is very fast-paced. You can get it. You're barely able to catch your breath, especially if you are running it and commentating on it at the same time. So I hope I was able to give you guys a little bit of a glimpse into how a speedrun of this game goes. Yeah, it is a very fun one. It's on basically, I think the game released on pretty much every console. So, you know, if you want to go ahead and grab this game, you can do that. It's also not very expensive. I think it's like $20 or something. So, you know, if this strikes your fancy, do give Vengeful Guardian Moonrider a glance. Again, I really, really love this game. Yeah. I mean, what else is there to say about it? Soundtrack is great, graphics are great, very retro-inspired, very fun to play. Love it. And with that, I guess we are a little bit behind schedule, so let's go ahead and wrap things up here, because I'm actually not done with you just yet, because the next one is actually also by me. However, I will be joined by Tantatali for some Resident Evil 5, so I guess we will be back for you guys in just a moment.
All right, thank you very much for that awesome run. It was really a lot of fun to watch that. This is also going to be the end for me today. So